Hey guys, I just want to give you a little update on this motor situation here. I had to do something and it seems to work out. So maybe you guys want to do it because I've never seen anyone do it before on YouTube. But if you have, send me the video link somehow. I guess you could just paste it in the description. I would like to see how they did it. Now, keep in mind, I don't have a lathe or, any fancy machines. So here's what I did. This is the original motor from the wheelchair. See, it has that slot in it. So what happened was things got all mixed up and didn't go right, and the batteries arrived with broken tops on them. So I had to get other batteries. Now these are still LifePo, if that's how you say it, batteries. These are the ones that are very, very light. It's not the 18650 batteries. I like these a lot better. These last so long. I don't know. The other ones might last just as long. But here's what happened. The tops were broken off, and the parts were hanging out, and the box was really damaged. And they were good batteries too. They were 30 amp hours each, and that would have been great. Now they ran out of stock, and it seems like the all of a sudden the sales ended or something, and the prices went up. So what I did was I just bought these, and these are 12 amp hours each. So it's still pretty good, because Power Wheels are probably about 7 amp hours. Anyway, let's get back to this motor. So um, this motor, in my video, my first video, I believe, what happened was I looked on the internet and I wanted to know how many volts I could run it at, the maximum voltage. So it said I could run it at like 33 or something, 34, something like that. I don't know, around there. I mean, very close to that. And I wanted to run this at 36 volts. So I had this running at 36 and I thought I'd test it, see what happens. And within about 2 minutes, I smelled something from the motor. It wasn't hot, it was still cold, but it had a smell to it. So obviously you can't run it at 36 volts. So I went back to that ad, well, not an ad, but I went back to the whatever that was that post over there, and it was a professional from that deals with wheelchairs for the longest time. I think it was like, I don't know, 16 years or something. And I thought, once I read that it was almost 36 volts, it should be fine. But I went back and I read again, which I should have in the first place. I don't like reading. I get a headache when I have to keep reading, and the words are small. And it said that you can run it at 34 volts, or let's say 34, um, for 1 minute. Okay, it's just like all other motors. You could run them for 30 seconds or a minute, but then after that you can't keep running. So instead of buying a new battery charger, controller, and stuff like that, I said to myself, well, I got this mini bike motor. It's 500 watts, 36 volts. And I was thinking, can I hook it up to here, right? I mean, it of course it doesn't have the right shaft on it, but it still had the gear on it. So what I did was I welded a socket to here, and I believe I think it's 12 or 14 millimeters. I forgot, but it fit, around this shaft almost perfectly. which it doesn't have to. Now this shaft also has a slot in it. So what I did was I cut out a piece of metal that fit perfectly in that slot, not too thin, not too thick, and I forced it into the socket. So it can be taken out with pliers, but it's in there tight. Okay, so now I got the socket welded to here, and this has got, it's got a little bit of play in it, wear and tear, but it'll last a long time because this is a gearbox. The input is very easy to turn, so there's hardly any strain on there at all. So I welded a socket to there, and then, well, I wanted to put this bearing in there, but this is the only one I had. It's just a cheap wheelbarrow bearing, but the hole was too big. This is 3/4, and I don't know what this is. Okay, so I had to build this up. So I had an old curtain rod. I cut a slit down the middle, opened it up, and I put it around here. But it was still too small. So I wrapped a little bit of tape around here. And it's just snug, not extremely tight, because I put this here for vibration. You see, if I don't put that there, it might go back and forth like this, as it's running. But now it's going to stay still like this. It's not going to move at all. So here's what I did. After I found the socket I was going to use, and I measured the length from here to here, I knew that I needed about 1.5 inches. So this is 3/4 and 3/4. Now this is really good wood. You could probably tell it's really, compressed. It's good. It's not warped. It's used for shelves. So it's got the 4 holes. All right. So these 4 holes, right? They go into here. Okay. Let me see. Hold on one second. I don't know where to put this. Move a little bit. All right. So these go into here. I can't put it in now because I gotta cut the bolt. So that goes into there, and then this piece here, right at the end, goes into the bearing. Okay, just like that. And then this piece over here gets attached. See, the bearing's still on this side, so it goes in here like this. All right, and then it all sandwiches together. But what I had to do was I had to pop off the front of this motor, and I had to drill holes. See, these are the mounting holes. These are the original ones. The long screws go through there. There was only 2 in here. I don't know why they didn't put 4, but I will be putting 4 now that I have this mounted on there because, it's going to take a little bit more strain. So what I did was I took a bolt and I cut a little piece of the head off of it. I don't have one to show you, but just picture this bolt, right? And you cut it off just one side right here. You just cut from here across, right down. You cut this little piece off, right? Right there. You can cut a corner. You can cut the corner, but I cut the flat side, okay? It seemed to work out better that way. So I cut this flat side right off up to, the threads here. Because when I put it through here, it was very close. You see, it would hit the edge. You see, it sticks out. See it? Because it has to be drilled close to the edge. So cutting it allowed me to still put it there. And it won't turn either, which is great because, if that turned, I'm not sure I'd be able to do what I'm doing here. But anyway, so I don't know if this is going to work out 100% because I didn't do it yet, but I closed it together, and this piece touches that piece perfect. It goes all the way down, not too much pressure, not too little pressure, and the only thing I had to do is I had to do this too. See, I had to grind out a little bit of the aluminum. I'm gonna probably grind out a little more to make it easier. But getting that screw in there is a little hard. But I tried it just a few minutes ago, and this does work. But if it didn't, you can grind down the sides of these. See, they're big and bulky because I'm only putting about maybe 50 pounds the most on here. And I'm using lock washers. Make sure you use lock washers because, without that, they could come loose. So that's what I had to do. I had to grind that down. The other side, I didn't have to grind down. You see, because it's out here. I also found out that I turned this shaft, the input shaft, and the output is well, I turned this 32 times, and then this gear turned one time. So this is a 32. I don't know if you could see that. I just scribbled it with pen. It's a 32 to 1 gear ratio. So I'm not sure if this motor is going to be faster or slower than the original motor because I don't know anything about this motor. There is some kind of number on here, but I looked it up. It doesn't tell you the RPM. So that's what I'm gonna do. I do have to cut this off because now the motor is gonna be turned, and I might weld that on there so I can screw that on something else and make it stronger. But these are the batteries I bought. I don't know how popular they are, but they seem to be good. They all came charged exactly the same, and I put a meter. I connected them all together, and I put a digital meter on it, the one you see there, that cheap one, and I left it on there for about a couple of hours, and they only go up and down. The number fluctuates up and down, up and down. Like let's say all three of them uh, are 42 or 43 volts, right? Yeah, I don't know why. It's supposed to be 36, but for some reason they are. That's why they sell the chargers that are like what, 42 volts or something, and you're only charging 36 volts. So, yeah, it must be something to that. But anyway, it only went, the number goes up and down, the voltage goes up and down. Like let's say it was 42.5, it will go 42.4, then back to 42.5. Even after 1 hour, 2 hours, it it doesn't keep dropping. Now, if you have batteries that keep dropping every, you know, 30 minutes or an hour, and they're dropping 1 volt, it's possible that the cells could be bad. But on some batteries, believe it or not, that's normal. I don't know why. I don't know why it should drop like that. Oh, let me show you something else. I used to do this a long time ago. I'm not sure if anyone does this on the internet. It doesn't seem like something, somebody would do. So anyway, I took this cover off and all the bearing, all the brushes came out. Okay. So the only way to get these back in is and remember, this is a magnet motor. So when you push on the shaft to try and push it back, it it's so powerful that it would be impossible for one person to hold that. But if you could hold that shaft back and you could make the commutator stick out enough, the commutator is, I believe it's this thing here. If you can make that stick out enough, you may be able to um, put a piece of tape around here to close this gap, right? Just up to the commutator, not too much over it, and not sticky tape, and leave the piece of tape sticking out, and then you might be able to put one brush in at a time, but it's very hard like that. All right. I tried that one time, especially with this motor. It's very hard. I didn't try it with this one. I didn't want to break the brushes. But this one, what I did was I took thread, that you sew with. Now, this is coat thread. It looks thin, but you can't break it with your hand. You probably cut your finger or something. And I took 1 foot of it, well, 1 foot for each. Okay. And at the end, I tied it in a knot. So now you have a circle. And you want to leave that part you tied out. You push the brush in, and then you just loop that around the brush. Let me see if I can show you. You see it? It's looped around the brush. Show you another one. See, one might be higher than the other. Okay. So anyway, hold on 1 second. Okay. So then after after you push the brush in and you loop the thread, right? You push the brush and the thread as much as you can in, and then you loop it around like you see it, right? You loop it around, and then you put tape there. So then when you're ready, what you're going to do is you're going to put this cover on, and you're going to make sure all the holes are lined up, because on this motor, these holes, these holes here are closer to the inside than these. Now that's very strange. I don't know why they did that. But that that's how it was. It's weird. So make sure you line them up, or actually mark your motor. So you have your motor, you put a mark here, 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 and the back cover. And if you don't do that, you're gonna have problems. Trust me. All right. So after you put this cover on the back of the motor, you're gonna take the tape off, and you're gonna cut one of these, not both of them. That'll be a big mistake, because if the thread goes inside, you'll have to open up the motor again. Okay, so cut this. Just cut one side, or you can cut this off. You see, I put a knot here. You can cut across both of them, but all the way at the edge here, that'll be fine. And then you pull one of them. Okay, you just pull one of these threads, not both of them, and it'll slide right out. All right, and you'll be good to go. Like I said, I'm not sure if that's the best way or if anyone's doing it that way, but that's the way I used to do it a long time ago, and it seems to work. I could show you this dashboard real quick. I was working in my garage, but it's cold in there. So I tried to cover this dashboard with leather, and I guess I failed, because I didn't really do a great job. So that's what it looks like. Yeah, it's not great. And the sides, I got to do something with the sides because I put tape there, but the tape comes off. It's black tape. Now the reason you see the slot here is because I'm making tilt steering, and I'm going to make what is it, telescopic or something? You know how the steer wheel comes in and out. So see, I got this piece here. I'm not sure if I did a video on this already. Uh, this one here, you see, it goes up, down, left and right. So it'll be like this. This will be the normal way, and it should be down to that slot, or you could push it down to that slot or whatever. But then it'll go up here like this. All right, so the steering wheel will be up here, and it comes out to here when the dashboard's on. But you can make it come out to here, so it's going to come out about 6 inches more. And I ordered a boot for it, so you don't see this ugly metal. Let's see if I can. Hold on one second. Okay, so I don't know if I could do this with one hand, but there's going to be a boot here. Just like, the rubber boot with the ridges on it. It's for a rack and pinion or an axle. I think this one's for a rack and pinion. So this is going to be covered, and the boot's going to be secured on here. So I don't know if I could do this with one hand, but anyway, it's like let me make this smaller. Hold on. Okay, so it'll be like this. All right, but you could put it down, or you could put it up like this. And then it also comes out, but I can't, well, let me see if I could hold this. Okay, so it'll come out about that much. And then it'll also go, down and up. And these things are great. You know what I was thinking you could use these for? This is a 3/4. This is heavy duty. And it's nice, too. It's stiff. The bearings in here are, seem very good. I think there's bearings in here. But anyway, if there is bearings in here, that would be great, because even though this might be for steering, you could probably use this to make an axle, 2 axles on the back. If you needed to make shocks, you see, you need these anytime you make shocks on anything. Go-kart, Power Wheels, 4x4, golf cart, anything. Because this has to go up and down when you hit the bumps, but still be able to turn. And, I thought it was pretty cool, you know. You could even make front-wheel drive with it. I only paid like $10 free shipping from Amazon. So if you want to, get one of those and make this, because it's pretty cool. It'll go up and down. I'm still waiting for all my parts. Nothing came yet. Well, actually, something came, but these are the worst tires I ever seen. You want to see the worst tires? Maybe I could save you the trouble ordering these things. You see this thing? Now, it said solid rubber tire, right? and it's 11, and the wheels that came off of here are 11 and a half. Now, I don't think I'm going to put these on. I'm thinking of just using the plastic wheels that came off, but I'll try these anyway, but I don't think they're going to look good. But I got an old tire, so I'm going to take an old tire and I'm going to rivet, a piece of the tire on the plastic wheel and see how it, see how it is and everything, see how it looks. It only needs, about 2 or 3 inches to grip the road. But these things are the worst. I mean, this is actually plastic. I don't know if you could. It's actually plastic. I mean, if you dig into it, it's only like 10% rubber and 99% plastic. So besides that, I didn't get anything else yet. I still have to wait about a week. That's it. I mean, no, I was just going to tell you about that one thing, but I keep on talking. So that's it. So I'm going to make, I'm going to put this on here. And it's very important. If you guys know anyone who switched the motor on here, like I did, from that motor to this or any other motor, and they made some kind of connection here, please, send me the link, because I would like to know, how they did it. I'm sure I'm not going to have the machines or anything that they have, but, um, just send it to me, because I'm curious, because this was like the first thing that came to my mind, and I did it, and it happened to work, and, it happened to be a perfect distance from these two things being 3/4 and 3/4. So, let me know, okay? All right, if once I get my other parts, I ordered a digital speedometer. I ordered a horn. I was gonna put a speedometer on this thing with the hand, a nice a round one. It would have looked a lot better, but when you look from the side, you can't tell the speed you're going that good. So I figured just get the digital one. I think it works by GPS, which is cool, right? I paid like $6 for it, free shipping. I'm ordering like a lot of stuff from that Temu and some from AliExpress. So far, everything was okay except those batteries, but these seem to be okay for now. But I'll show you everything I got. It's just little stuff, $5, $3. It's like nothing major, because like I said, I'm not going to put a lot of money into this, because it's old. If I had a nice Lamborghini one, I would put everything on there. I mean, I make it like a real car, and I would do everything different. The whole axle, everything would be different. All right. I was gonna tell you something else. Yeah, I got this lithium charger here. I don't recommend it though. I wish I could see the model number, but it's like, I was gonna tell you not to buy it. It looks like XXY42200. It's 42 volts, 2 amps. And I had to drill holes in it because this thing was getting so hot. I tried it on 3 different batteries already, and it was getting hot. So it's garbage. It's light as a feather. I hate when I get something and it's light as a feather. It's junk. Look at the wire. Not even an eighth of an inch. This thing is garbage. Anyway, that's it for now. I'll get back to you when I continue actually doing something, and I'll show you this motor. Hopefully, it'll work. And this bearing should take out the vibration. This bearing here. It should keep everything nice and straight. I'm planning on it. I hope it does. But all right, take care, guys.